Towards nice and calm. You're almost there.
Yeah, I did it. I cried 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it. Let's take it to the stage.
You dig it? You knock a dude down, you get some respect.
Hello. Everybody can see me? Oh, there you go. Gotta fix the. Good evening. It's your favorite baby boomer here on Pain. Hey, listen, welcome aboard. We got another one of these shows that I don't want anybody to leave here taking it too seriously, other than I think I'm right once again about what I know about female nature. And I'm going to share some of that with you. Now, do I know everything? I don't need to know everything, right? But what I do know, I can share with you guys, and you guys can tell me whether I'm on track or off track. And any woman want to come up here and argue with me or not argue with me or discuss what she thinks she can. Now, I have some clips and things of that nature that I can share with you like I always do. And we'll go from there. You know, that's just the way that is. And we should have some fun with this one. BMU, thanks for sending down the whatchamacallit a little early. I appreciate that. I forwarded on the thumbnail. I forwarded on to a couple of folks. Maybe they'll chime in. That'll be good. So we had a snowstorm out here in New Jersey, by the way. Just wanted to let everybody know that. But that was yesterday, so we're all clear now, I think. So that's cool. Well, not all clear, but at least we don't have all the snow on the ground, which is something. Bear with me. I'm trying to do a couple of things. I'm multitasking while I'm talking to you guys. So we're going to get started on what's going on in a second. Just in a second. So bear with me just a little while longer. Anyway, here we go. All right. So welcome aboard, everybody. Again. So I'm giving people time to get in and just be a part of what we got going on. So that'll be nice. All right. Oh, so hello. I see out there, put your name in the chat, say hello, whatever. I'd appreciate that. So let's get started with what we're talking about today so we can get back on the same page if we were ever off of it. Today, we're going to talk about a few things about female nature that I think I'm sure about. And I want to share that with you guys. Now, this is not going to be any attribution and nothing wrong with women, nothing wrong with men. I think one of the things that we've lost in the year 2025 is that we're all subject to nature. Now, we can choose not to follow our natures, or we can choose to make excuses for our nature. And or we could excuse to abuse our nature. So all those things are true. But the basic underlying thing is that as far as men and women is stuff that proves that we are not the same. And one of the biggest problems we had society trying to tell us that we're equivalent on the same level, because feminism has women saying that male traits are better than female traits. So you guys better get on board and act like men. And then the liberalism has told men that you need to soften up so women can catch up and you could be more like women. And so if you're more like women, you know, life will go a whole bunch easier because we'll understand you better if you think like we do. And then unfortunately, there's just so many men who bought into that bullshit. Okay. And there's so many women who bought into feminism as well. And now we have society that's all fucked up. We can't even relate to each other because so many of us are acting outside of our nature. So there's two things I want to talk about female nature in terms of what it means to a man. And I think it's a natural thing. The question that comes up on social media is, should a man love a woman more than a woman loves a man? Should a man love a woman more than a woman loves a man? And that question comes up a lot in certain circles. And then we have panel discussions and all that horse shit. And people have their opinions. So I can't really say horse shit, right? People have their opinions based on their own worldview of what it should be. Okay, so I'm going to have a couple of clips on both sides. And you decide whether it's better for a man to love a woman more than the other way around. Now, if we're talking situationships and those pseudo bullshit that people call relationships out there, which are really just situationships that are souped up, you know, if people are just talking about that, it kind of really doesn't matter who loves who more. You're both going to break each other's heart at some point and break up and maybe even leave a baby deposit and then be fighting each other for the next 20 years, okay? You know, so I don't count those. I'm talking about people who get married. I'm married. I'm talking about people who get married, okay? So bear with me because I'm one of those kind of guys who got married, right? And that's my wedding from 850,000 years ago. Actually, it was 1987, by the way, if you want to know the truth. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is a good one. That is a good one. I like it. Hello. Anyway, so this is my wedding, 1987, by the way. And I can't say I had all of the revelations I do now. But the one thing I was sure about when I got married, and I'm gonna relate this to all of you guys for today, because I believe that human nature, male nature, and female nature, this underlying nature that we have that was true in 2025 BC, and it's true in 2025 AD. And that hasn't changed. It's only been manipulated by the technology that we have. And I think that people who can understand that have an easier time than people who get all wrapped up in the minutia and the bullshit that gets spewed out over the airwaves. One of the things that I found out about my wife when she was my fiance is that the chick loved me, man. She was all over me. I did not have to pull her at all. Once we met and once we started talking, she was running towards me. Now, I'm not saying I was some kind of, some kind of great find. I'm saying that I didn't have to convince her to be my wife. I didn't have to convince her to be my wife. And there's a lot of guys who have to drag the women pulling and screaming to be their wives. Now, here's where nature comes in. Most women, they might, this is what they call settling. Depending on where they are in life, they might find a guy who's passable, a guy who's marriageable, but that's not the guy that they want in their life. But you know what? Shit, man, I'm looking at my inventory and I'm not sure how much more chances I'm gonna get. So she'll say yes to the guy who's pulling and dragging her to the wedding altar, kicking and screaming, doing everything she can for her without her making any other steps towards him on her own. And fellas, if you're with a woman that you have to do that with, you are making a big, huge mistake, especially if you marry her. Especially if you marry her. If that woman ain't coming towards you, guns are blazing, then you're making a mistake. You are making them. I'll say that unequivocally. And the only receipts I have is that me and my wife are still together after 38 years. And I'm saying that that's a receipt because when I throw this picture up, the way she's looking at me here is exactly the way she looks at me now with those eyes. the eyes that she looks at me with, those, I don't know why. Okay, I ain't no great shakes, but when she looks at me through those eyes, I see that same woman. I see that same woman. I didn't have to drag her to the altar. So I see that same woman. You know, so that's part of the nature of things. I think that a man, if your woman is dragging you, if you have to drag and let me take this off, let me take that off. We put that up there. If you got to be dragged, kicking and screaming, if your woman has to be dragged, then it's a mistake that's waiting to happen. And let me tell you, let me pull that string a little bit more, okay? And this is what I want to tie it to. One, so your woman loving you more than you love her, that's kind of a misnomer, all right? Because if you ask a woman to marry her, to me, you're saying to her that you're willing to put her up above all others. You're willing to take care of her for the rest of her life and the life of your children, and make a life for her that no other man can make better for her than you. So if that's not, a pledge, then nothing is of love and affection. And we're men are more romantic. Women are always practical in their choices. They might not think so, but there's some practicality to marriage. And women have that in the forefront of their head, right? That's safety and security, the 4 P's from a man, right? Protection, provision, procreation, problem solving. That's what y'all all look for, no matter how much money y'all make. So, so if a woman is with you and she doesn't look at you as her number one choice, that means she's still looking. That means she's still looking. And you're a placeholder. And you're just a placeholder, hoping that she doesn't run into that corporate alpha that's chasing her around the desk every day or taking her to lunch while you're doing whatever you're doing. And she comes home and looking at you and she's dreaming about somebody else. So I have those kind of, I have some clips on that. And so I just wanted to let you, and the other connection that I wanted to say, and we're going to talk about this one too. So that's one, make sure your woman, I say loves you more than you loves her, but she's got to be affectionate about you. And you got to be reasonably assured that she views you as her number one choice. I mean, that's it. So there's some nature of things. And I wanted to show this first. I'm going to show this clip from Steve Harvey. Now, it might seem like it doesn't have anything to do with this, but it talks about nature. You guys might not agree with it, but I want y'all to listen to him. And to the stage. Oh, how we go. Yeah. Him to the stage. For some reason, you don't want to come to the stage. Move and move and okay, there he is. All right. That's just some of you might have seen this clip, and I'm gonna tie it to what I'm talking to. But listen to this.
All of my friends are men. I don't have female friends. I don't. I'm incapable of that.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, because come on.
Because you have a wife.
Well, I have a wife, and I don't really have female friends because look, you're an attractive woman. There are some guys somewhere saying, "Yeah, we're friends." No, that's not true. He's your friend only because you have made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening except this friendship we have. We remain your friends in hopes that one day there'll be a crack in the door, a chink in the armor, and trust and believe that guy that you think is just your buddy, he will slide in that crack the moment he gets the opportunity.
And you
Because
think
we're
most
guys.
men think this way?
99.9% of us think that.
And listen, one of the things that I find fascinating is when women act like they don't know what he's talking about. Right? I mean, that's the biggest bullshit in the whole world. Women know exactly what he's talking about. But the way I wanted to show this first before I went on my little soliloquy, but there's a natural side to men. That's why he said that. Now, it could get out of control, and we'll come back to that. But for the most part, men don't go around wanting to just be friends with women, especially if the women are pretty. They're going to want to have sex with the women. That's what we do, right? It's a natural thing. It's nothing bad. It's nothing good. It's just how you act on it. Now, on the flip side of that, if men can have a nature, so do women, right? And so that's what I was getting at in the beginning. You know, a woman's nature is to be with the best man she could possibly get with. And that was true in 2020 BC, and it's true in 2025 AD. You know, what's that? Anno Domini, you know, in the year of our Lord, or if you're secular, you know, in the year of common something, you know, vernacular. Anyway, so I would say that if you're married to a woman, right, for the most part, most of us don't want our women to have close male friends. Not only, and it's easier for her to say, I understand that if she's really enamored with you, right? Because we don't want our women have given access to any other men for any other reason. And that'll bring us to my second thing. And I think women will, I think on the surface may disagree or they may agree, right? Yeah, that's Steve Harvey. He's got a lobotomy anyway. So let me throw this out at you. I don't believe, and I think women and some men don't like when I say this. I don't believe women in general need men until they do. And when I say that, it sounds like a trick on words, but I think most women only see men as useful tools. And that up to and includes women you're married to. My wife, she might love me. She came running. She wants to be in my arms, but she finds me useful. You know, and I try to find ways on, you know, we say the divorce rate is high. Women leave men all the time. And we got a whole bunch of women coming on TikTok and other social media saying why they leave good men. And there's got to be an answer for that, as opposed to the bullshit that they spew on these streams. And the answer really is they no longer find those men useful. They leave men, they leave their kids, they leave their family because the laws are saying that they could leave and then take a lot of his money with them. When they can't do that, they don't leave as easy. But the fact is that with no fault divorce, when a woman finds a man no longer serves her needs, she just walks away. It's like a light switch that she could turn on and off. And it happens all too often. I think that's a natural thing. I think most women are hardwired to do what's best for themselves. I really do. In terms of safety, security, the men they choose, even though a lot of them choose badly. If you ask them why they chose that asshole from the street, because they'll say he looked cute. He's got some features that they like, or some bullshit like that. Or he's the, you know, the top dude in the gang, or the top CEO in the office. As long as he has some kind of stature that they can grab onto, they will. You know, so I think that's a natural thing. I think that in the old days when men had to be the gatherers and the hunters and provide food and safety and shelter, the women, those guys who were the best at that had their pick of the women. The women gravitated towards those guys, right? Today, women gravitate to those guys too, right? We talk about most of the women want 20% of the men, right? The dating apps prove that. It's not caveman and spears. Maybe it might be suits and money, but it's the same principle. It's the absolute same principle. That's why a woman who makes $1 million wants a man making $1,000,001. That's some natural shit. That's why when a woman marries a guy who doesn't make as much as her, just on money alone, she says she's marrying down. Doesn't matter whether that guy's educated. Doesn't matter if he's a scholar or anything else. He just doesn't make as much money. So she considers that marrying down. Right? I didn't make that shit up. It's all over the place. So that's a natural thing. It's a mistake in a lot of times, but it's natural. That's why some women have trouble in the dating market, because they don't realize that the higher you go up yourself, the less pickings there are. So let's flip that around. Men don't call it marrying down. even though the vast majority of us do. Right? The vast majority of men marry women who have less money, education, and it's still true today. Don't let the feminists fool you. And they need a guy covering more than the other way around. So those are natural things that's going on, right? So let's get back to the fact that I tell guys, the number one I always tell guys who talk to me, I got, I mean, I'm not an influencer at all, but I know some folks who are saying why they're not married, why they're afraid of marriage, divorce, and all that shit. I said, well, the first thing you do is you got to vet your honey better than maybe you're doing it right now. Are you sure that she's not looking anymore? And so that's one of the things that I talk about. And it's funny. Sometimes you could communicate with people through, just talking to them. Sometimes you have to communicate to them by yelling at them. Sometimes they got to learn on their own. And sometimes those problems and mistakes they have, they can't come back from. And so like if anybody who sees me up here every so often, every Monday, I fool around with music and shit like that. And, and I should get a better tool. But the point is that I could put just a thought in one of these AI generators and it'll generate you a song. And some of the songs are better than others, but I like this one. I'm going to play for you. And it's going to be just short, 3 minutes. And then we'll go on to some of the clips that I have going over what I was talking about with the question, should your woman or your man, who should love more in a relationship? And we'll get to that in a second. We shall get to that in a second. Let me go ahead and put this up here. And you guys gonna bear with me. And you can tell me whether y'all like this or not. Right? Yeah, and then we'll go from there. I'll be interested to see if y'all like this or not.
Fellas, listen close. You gotta take a stand. Show her all the love. Be a man with the plan. Every sweet word make her heart race fast. But are you the one who'll make it last? Time to step up or let it go. Fellas, are you sure you're her number one choice? Whisper in her ear, let her hear your voice. Be the one she thinks of when the day is done. Show her you're the only, her number one. When the lights go.
So you see where that's coming from, right? You can go to my channel, theme-based music, to hear the rest of that. All right. So anyway, the truth of the matter is I agree with that. So it's funny, the AI generator is nice. You can go ahead and manipulate the words and all that. It can give you a tune, So what's next that I want to get to? I have some clips that I wanted to share with you about, just about, the question, who loves who more? Okay. And it's a series of ladies, I believe. And I think it's a series of ladies talking about this. And you guys got to tell me whether you agree with them. And I'm talking about both sides. Right. So it's not just one-sided. It's not just one-sided.
Man should always love the woman more. Tell me why. Every single successful relationship, marriage, partnership that I've seen, the man holds the woman on a pedestal. He's scared to lose her. That's my observation, and my observation as a matchmaker as well.
All right, before the next one goes. Now, listen, I think any man who gets married holds his woman in a certain amount of esteem, whether you call that a pedestal or not. She's got to be something special to you, or you should not marry her. Okay, so I'll give her that. But if you're afraid of losing her and you give up your manhood and your place of leadership for it, then you're making a mistake. So I disagree with the lady's premise because her conclusion is wrong. Part of it, at least, you know, because a man living in a scarcity mindset is no good to himself or his woman, as far as I'm concerned. And you guys could tell me whether I'm wrong or not. So here's the next lady talking about man or woman.
Always say it's so essential that the woman likes a man more than he likes her, because divorce is in her hands a bit more. Men are relatively placid when it comes to relationships. They are relatively okay with monotony. Women are not like that. If they don't feel love, they don't feel consistency, they don't feel excitement, whatever, their emotions take over their judgment. So when a woman loves a man more than he loves her, I'm not saying that's ideal, but the relationship lasts a lot longer because she's willing to fight through the rough times. But when a man likes a woman more than she likes him, he becomes emasculated. He loses his masculinity to please her. He becomes a people pleaser. He'll bend over backwards. And in his desperate attempt to keep her, he loses the attraction even more. Best relationships are when both people are equally invested and both people are equally okay if the relationship didn't work out.
The other person more in a relationship? Should the man love more or should the woman love more? The woman should love more, because then the man is in a position of power and he can lead. If he loves her more, she's up there and she's going to lead. The relationship is going to potentially be led by fluctuating emotions, maybe a lack of logic, potentially. It's just going to lead into a ditch.
Interesting.
When a woman loves a man more than he loves her, that relationship stands a better chance of lasting a really long time. Men are very capable of staying in a relationship with a woman that they're not madly in love with, but as long as she loves him and she's loyal to him and she's looking after the kids, they will stay put. Even if they might step out and do a nonsense, they will stay loyal to the cause because the relationship is not giving them enough stress to leave. Whereas for a woman who does not love a man as much as he loves her, what she will do is inevitably start pushing his boundaries. She will start testing him to see what the level of disrespect he will handle before he can leave. And when he loves her more than she loves him, he'll end up tolerating a lot more than he should, and she will eventually lose respect for him, and that relationship eventually will break down. So I believe they either need to be equal or the woman needs to love the man more in order for the relationship to last.
All right, before we get to this last one, I wanted to say that I put those in that order. That what's going on, what's happening. I put those in that order because, you know, I wanted the women to tell you what they think about the relationship and why, as opposed to me just saying it. Right? Women, you know, if you're going to be in a marriage with a lady, you want her to, like I said, you don't want to drag her kicking and screaming into that relationship. And let me tell you, some men can do that. Some women will acquiesce to the pressure of a guy trying to marry her, knowing that he has these other attributes that she loves except him. She's not interested in him as much as she would be, that bad boy or that right guy who has all of those other attributes he has, but she's also sexually attracted and everything else. So that's why I got to be careful, because if you're not careful about it, you're going to marry somebody who will be with you only because she tolerates your touch, and you want a little bit more than that. So this is another lady talking about that, but she's got a little different angle that she brings it from. All right. And we're going to go ahead and break that down after we play it.
Unconditional more men or women?
Men by nature. I feel like men wake up with us in mind.
Thank you.
I'm talking men. I'm talking men though, not boys.
Thank you.
Not
That's
males.
The truth, bro. That's the
not
truth,
not males, not boys. Men wake up with women in mind. They do it even if they're not happy with their woman because they're unconditionally loving that woman. Like, damn, you ain't been acting right. You ain't been giving me none. I can't remember the last time I got a massage. Can't remember the last time you rubbed my feet. But I'm still gonna make sure we got this roof. I'm making sure you're eating. I'm making sure that I'm providing for you. I'll give you whatever affection you need. Even though I can't remember the last time you poured into me, my glass is almost empty and I'm still pouring. That's men loving unconditionally.
All right. So she said a couple of things that's only partially right. Okay. One, men will love unconditionally, but they shouldn't do it for just any old woman. The lady has to be your wife. That's number one. Number two, if you're in that position, then you made the first mistake. You married somebody who didn't want you. And she's not happy in the situation, right? And three, if she started out as a chameleon, making you think she was happy with the situation, it's incumbent upon you never to let your woman get away with the bullshit that this lady just said. You know, I'm serious. You can't stay in a relationship, and if your woman is not putting out and she's not appreciating anything you do, you are an idiot if you stay there. I don't care what they talk about, money, this and that. You cannot live your life in that kind of desperation, which so many men do. And the truth of the matter is a lot of men are going to do it. And so that's why you got to give yourself the best chance to win and make sure you don't marry somebody who could actually even think about treating you that way. You know, you don't want no woman to ever take you for that kind of granted at all. You know, so nip it in the bud. One, don't marry a woman who doesn't love you enough that you can feel safe that you're her number one choice. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And the second thing is, you do find yourself in that situation, don't take that shit lying down. You know, you can't be that much of a coward with the woman in your life where she could just shit all over you and you just take it. You know, that's one of the reasons why we're upside down in our relationships with women, especially in the Black community. We're so used to acquiescing to female bullshit that we don't even know sometimes what's up and what's down. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to accept that stuff. And, you know, but if you start out as a wimp, it's hard to get out of wimpdom. It just really is. I know it's easier said than done. You know, so anyway, I'm just throwing that shit out at you. You know, I got another one that I wanted to show. And this is, again, I like women that say this stuff. I don't want to be the guy just saying it because it really hits harder when women tell you what they think, you know? Because, you know, you got to live with the honeys. You don't have to live with me. So there's another clip. I have a clip by Ada at the Table, and this one's a little longer. I got some time, and we're talking. And I don't watch Ada at the Table that much, but this might be interesting because it's men talking around the table. And I don't think there's any women on this panel. And let's hear what they have to say. You know, before I go any further, let's talk about Ada on the Table. And let's see what they got to say about things. I haven't seen these guys in a while, so when I found this clip, I thought, let's listen to it.
That your partner should love you more than you should love your partner.
Yes.
It's a no.
It has to be that way. It has to be that way because men are natural leaders. Okay, we can't not blur the goddamn battle zone. Okay, you know what I'm saying? When men become simps, when men become
It's a lot of those out there.
Yeah, they walk over you. No, I'm not saying him. No, don't do that. I love all my men here. I can say that, you know, I can say that genuinely. You know what I'm saying? But when men become simps, right? Women take over us, and women
with power are detrimental.
Women love to find a man that they can gouge on. Okay,
I'm confused though because I need a woman to.
This is the guy who's the I'm not going to say it, but this is the guy who's the one contrarian in this whole thing, and I think it's just willful ignorance.
To love herself. Because we're gonna have the problems that she
gotta
don't.
love
I don't
you,
need her
bro.
to love me more.
Let this man speak.
She gotta love.
The question is, I get you.
Do I want my woman to love me more
than you love her?
No, I need her just to love herself. No, I know what you're saying.
So what does loving herself got to do with it?
Because I don't want her to love me more than I love her. I want her to love herself. I'm going to love myself, and we're going to be together. I'm a leader.
So
I don't
not gonna
tolerate the
love her?
bullshit. I'm going to love her.
So what happens
Absolutely.
if you love her more than she loves you?
If I love her more than she loves me, then she might leave me.
Exactly. So
She
why
might
would you
not-
want
I'm
that?
all right with that because that means she don't love herself.
Now, what happens if she...
Okay. I'm sorry. What do you mean? That means she don't love herself if she leaves you. Let me tell you, a woman could turn off the light switch on you and not lose 1 ounce of love she has for herself because of your dumb ass. Let me tell you that. Okay. So don't you go believing that, what was that one? The record, don't you go believing that you're unreplaceable or some horse shit like that. This guy is crazy.
He loves you more than you love her.
I don't care. I'm gonna love myself. I don't care. It's fine.
All right, so listen.
That doesn't work that way.
Listen, what I'm saying is, if I love her a lot and I tell her one day I love you first, and she does never say it, she's not obligated to say it to me.
I get that.
She could show it or she cannot. If I feel like she's not showing it, then I'll move forward and I'll leave her by and I'll keep it moving. If she loves me more than if I never say I love you to her, she tells me, then let's see where it goes. And let's see if I wind up loving her the way she loves me.
All right, Dave, look.
I'm not going to take advantage of the situation because she told me she loves me first.
That sounds cool. Let me break this down for you, right?
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you what you
Tell me,
said.
Spooner.
I'm going to tell you what you just told me, right? You just told me that if you love her more than she loves you, then she may leave you. That's what you said.
Right, but yes, I did say that. Yes, I did say that. Yes.
But if you love her more than she loves, but if she loves you more than you love her, you're not going to leave her.
Correct.
I'm
a great man. That's because I'm a great man. What about it?
That makes her a shitty woman.
Do you think that it'll be fair or I guess beneficial for your relationship if she loves you more than you love her versus the opposite way around?
If it's beneficial, say that again.
Like beneficial for your relationship in the longevity aspect, right? Is it that for her to love you more than you love her, is that more beneficial for your relationship versus you loving her more than she loves you? That's the real question.
I don't have a good answer for that.
You answered it.
What do you mean you don't have a good answer for that? There's only one answer for that. See, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know who his woman is that she's watching and he's trying to watch his words because I don't even think he believes what he's saying. That's why he's all over the place.
Right. Yes. I just say yes. You answered it already. Because in one aspect, you're telling me she's gonna leave you, and the other aspect, you're telling me you're not gonna leave her.
So she needs to love. So she needs to love you way more than you love her in your mind.
She needs to love me way more than I love her.
In order for y'all to stay together, because you said if she loves you,
yeah, I guess.
She said if it's
listen,
vice versa,
I guess so, but I'm not. Those
leaving.
are things I'm not worried about.
That's not your focus.
It's not my focus. I deal with the day-to-day basis, how we treat each other, the respect we have on that day. That will lead to another great day. And if I find out in time that I'm not getting that reciprocated, then I'll walk away. I'm not looking to the future. I'm concerned about now. How are we treating each other now? Are you showing me that respect, that you trustworthy, you're honest? That's what, and then I'm watching you, how you treat yourself. That will keep me there, how you treat yourself. I'm not worried about if she loves me more. It's not an obligation. Love is something that if you don't love.
See, and one of the things that I want to try to get to, and we're going to finish this off, is that if you understand the nature of a woman, this question is easy to answer. It's not hard to understand that if you are chasing a woman and, she's got you by the nose ring and she's pulling you around like a poodle dog, it may be okay for a while until she gets bored and then you're gone. Do you understand? Because the nature of a woman is not to be able to tell their men. And that's why they're out of balance now. A lot of women want to be boss chicks and they can't find men because they want well-to-do, successful men to be their bitches. And in order for a man to be a woman's bitch, he has to act outside of his nature. And when a man acts outside of his nature, when a woman acting outside of her nature, the world has no way to come back from that. And we got too much of that shit going on in the Black community. Men fucking acquiescing to the women at every whim and acting outside of their nature and knowing they're outside of their nature as leaders, there's no way to come back from that. There's none, right? Because both of you are broken, so you're not following secular natural order, and you're not following God's natural order. You're outside of order on both ends. So anyway, let's finish.
Love yourself. You're never going to show me that you love me if you don't love yourself.
No, I don't think that's true, because some people don't know how to love themselves, but they can love everybody else.
Nah, that's fake love.
But
that's fake love.
Going off on
that's fake love.
I'm gonna tell y'all,
That's
you're
fake
going
love.
off on a tangent. I'm gonna tell y'all where all this is
fake
wrong
love.
from the beginning, right? When we talking about women, and I told Rico this all the time. When you first think about the woman, when you getting in the relationship, no, she's capping. That's the number one thing. So while y'all basing your whole life story and decision making upon whatever you make it, any type of decision about, understand when she opens her mouth, 90% of the time she's fucking capping. So when you realize that, then you know she got to love you way more than you love her. She got to, because once you realize she's fucking capping all the time, you're gonna be like, I need to go somewhere. So then she lets you go out, and most men cheat on their girl before they become their wife. It's standard business. It's nothing crazy. Okay? You cheat on her because you need to know if she really fucking loves you or not. Period. And once you cheat on her, right, and she doesn't leave you, and she still starts to tell you the truth, and she still say, you can run the money, and she still wants to go out, and she wants to suck your dick, you gotta win her.
All right, listen. Don't follow his instruction there, okay? I mean, the skin of it that she might stay and all that kind of stuff, women don't forget, okay? Don't prove her love for you by going out and cheating on her during the courting phase if you want to get married. If you're just fucking around in a situationship, I don't care. But don't lead off your marriage with banging out some other chicks to see it as a test to whether your chick is going to stay or not. All right, I wouldn't recommend that.
Yo, can I piggyback on that real quick?
Period.
I got a saying that I learned from an OG long time ago, right? Women know exactly who they dealing with when they come to you.
That's true.
Right? Does that make sense to you fellas?
Yep.
Women know what games they can run when they come to a certain man. So they know they can run, I need the $300 for my rent. I need the $70 for my nails. I need the $150 for my phone bill. And when they come to easy, they're like, baby, what's up? Call me when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? They know. So when you, with that question there, should a woman love you more than you love her? Of course, it gotta go like that. Because most men, Rico was talking facts. Esso was talking facts. But yeah, most men will cheat on their woman before the woman cheat on them. But at the end of the day,
listen, I'm not even sure that's true. I know we take it for granted, but I don't know if that's true anymore. I do not know if that is true, that more men will cheat on their women before their women cheat on them. I don't think we can make those statements anymore. I really, really don't. But go ahead.
She got to know that she's with the winner. And she's going to know that, and you're going to know that by the type of game she runs. If you're always hearing, I need the $70, I need the $350, I need the $150. Yeah, bro. You number 2, 3, 4, 5 on the list. And she's coming to you like, pick me up when you're ready. She got you as number 1, okay? And that's the one that's loving you more than you love her. And at the end of the day, might potentially get the ring.
There you go. We can end it right there. Because the point in all the stuff he said is, you got to be sure that she looks at you as her number 1, and that's where I'm coming from. And the other flip side to that, it's not man versus woman here. It's nature. It's just nature that a woman needs to be moving towards you for you to get that assurance that she looks at you and she's not looking anywhere else. And it takes some time during courtship to ferret that shit out. And a lot of guys don't see it. They just look at the nice body, the fact that you got some buns one night and she's really nice to you and you're really nice to her. But, there's times you call her and she's not accepting. She's not taking your call. you know, or she's not reachable and she's not coming towards you, you don't hear from her unless you're calling her. If that's the case, she like you for the time that you're together, but when you're not, she's doing something else. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. So I got one more clip for you on that particular subtopic, and we're gonna play that one because I want y'all to hear it. Another one from the woman's side. That really kind of drives this shit home. All right, it drives it home, and it from the position that you might not necessarily hear women saying. Okay, but here we go. All right, so we're gonna share this, and you tell me whether she's making sense to you or not. Okay.
Don't ever marry your second choice. He is not the man you still think about at 2 a.m. Don't marry him. Every girl has that one guy, the one who ruined her for everybody else. You never get over him. You just learn to live without him. He set the standard. Every kiss after him feels weaker. Every I love you sounds quieter. You also compare silently every single day, even on your wedding day. You settle for safe because dangerous broke you once again, and you swore to yourself, never again. You'll say, I'm happy, while staring at the ceiling at night, wondering what he's doing right now. Your physical body will be in the bed next to your husband, but your soul will still be in that old car, that old motorcycle, the old apartment, the old version of you that felt alive. You'll teach your daughters to never settle while secretly knowing you did. One day you will see his name pop up or hear his favorite song, and your heart will skip a beat like you're 19 again, and you hate yourself for it. If he is not the man who still owns a piece of you, don't put his ring on your finger, because second choice love turns into first class regret. Marry the man that you cannot live without, not the one that you can live with. Girls.
All right. So listen, I guess I'm driving this point home, right? We're driving the point home. You know, so I'm not making it up. This is not a baby boomer Rich Payne-ism. You know, if you're going to get married, again, I'll be clear, like back to the beginning. If you're in a situationship and you're in these bullshit relationships that y'all call relationships, which are really just glorified situationships, it doesn't matter who loves who more. It really doesn't. You know, just keep fucking around like you're doing. But if you want to be married, men, you got to ferret out the ladies who are wasting your time from the ones who are really coming towards you. And she might not be the one who has the best sex. She might not be the one who has the biggest tits. She might not be that one. But if she's the one coming towards you to tell you, listen, man, you know, with whatever affirmation she can, not just with words, but with deeds, those are women that will stay married to you. And if you're really afraid of divorce and you're really afraid of all those kind of things, you really got to start out with the best candidate you possibly can. And if your chick is nervous from the beginning, she can't say the vows, you know, and she's superficial about the wedding and all that other shit, man, come on, brother. You know, so I just wanted to hit that part. The other part that I wanted to hit is that women, like I said, in general, you know, and a lot of people don't like this, but the other part I say, part of women's nature is survival. You know, it's survival. It's having things around them that's useful for them to get ahead. Their selfish nature, which is a part of them as well, as opposed to be selfless. But, you know, a lot of women are selfish. It's how they feel about things. In general, that's selfishness. But I just wanted to say that most women, if you think about when they have a roster, or if they have, whether they're having sex with them or not, where they have a roster, every single man in that rotation does something useful for her, whether it's mentally, whether it's monetarily, whether it's physically, whether it's just something about him that she likes to have as something that fills her soul, right? Or else he wouldn't be in her circle. That he wouldn't be there. Women find men useful. And if they don't find you useful, then you're invisible to them. Now, some people will say that that's negative, but it's not. It's just true. It's absolutely true. And that was true in 2025 BC, and it's true today. The only thing that has changed is the tools that we all use, right? So, and it's something that I think men, if you get a grip with, you can handle it, because you'll say, well, the funny thing is most men want to be useful in their life anyway, right? You just don't want to be used, okay? But you want to be useful. And so if you find a woman who extracts things from you, right, it's incumbent upon her and it's incumbent upon you to make sure that there's some reciprocation. It doesn't have to be sex unless you have that kind of relationship, but there's got to be reciprocation for her extracting what she extracts. And that makes you not be a fool. So if you like a woman, but every time she sees you, she wants you to do something for her, but she makes it clear you can't get no ass, okay, or no sex. You're just my useful, gardener. If she's not offering to pay you, then she's using. Because she knows that you want her to slip up just once to give you some of that lady leg, and you're willing to play the long game to get it. That's one of the reasons why Steve Harvey said he don't have no girlfriends, because, girl best friends, because most women, they lie when they act like they don't know what men want from them. Or else why would a man want to be in your presence, especially if you have any sex appeal whatsoever, than other to have sex with you? He doesn't need to be up under you to find out what kind of a good woman you are. Right? Because he knows you're busting it down for somebody who hasn't done shit for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the woman's nature of survival, right? Back in the day, the man who was the best hunter, the man who was the best gatherer, the man who was the most handsome, tallest, the best fighter, he got his pick of the best women. Today, how is it any different? How is it any different that we got technology and the women are still saying the same shit? Take Ebony K. Williams, for example. Most people know her, right? She went on and had a baby by herself. And she's a decent looking woman. She's cute, but she wants men on her own terms, no matter how much money they make, right? So if she shits on a bus driver because he doesn't make enough money, she can't say he doesn't have any ambition because he's not a CEO. Everybody's not meant to be a CEO. But she don't know what kind of philosophy he has, know what kind of husband he is, what kind of man he is. All she saw was that he didn't make enough money to be around her. Okay, that's one. And then I saw on a podcast, and she was talking about men in her economic status, right? Because she makes a little bit of money. And she was talking about how they don't make good guys because they can't get it up for a woman like her. They can dig that, right? And I said, and I just clipped that one. I don't know where I put it. I said to myself, listen to this chick. She can't take a man that doesn't make enough money to her. And she wants to take a man who makes more money than her, but she wants to emasculate him into some kind of little bitch to do her bidding. Now, no men that I know, because I know I wouldn't do it, even at my level. I'm not going to try to conquer the world as a man just to let a woman lead me around as some kind of pussy. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you make $1 million and I make $1.1 million, and you want to marry me because you don't have to worry about giving me any of your money, but you're my wife, I'm gonna expect you to do wifely fucking things. I am. I just am. I'm not gonna let you run around and just do whatever the hell you want to do, or else we won't have to be married. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how much money you have. It means whether you're somebody's wife or not. And so she said, I give up. She gave up because she knows no man's going to want to put up with her bullshit. So she went and, bought somebody's sperm, and now she has a kid, which is more power to her. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I got this thing where I want to prove to you, while I got time left, and I do, that, and I did this on BMU's network before, And it was about that. And the title of it, and you can go back, maybe it was a few months ago, or what the title is, that women don't need men until they do. And I got a clip of me talking to another brother, and we're watching a couple of women proving my theory 100% correct. Now, it's a small sample size, but not what they're saying, okay? Because I believe that this could be extrapolated to any woman. And if any women are out there, if you're not listening to this live, but you're going to listen to it on replay, I got a little assignment for you. Write down the names of all the men in your orbit. And I want to ask you a question. Can you tell me exactly why those guys are in your orbit? What do you extract from them for them being in your orbit? I bet you have a few items for each one of them, or else they would not be on the list. And I'm not even talking about sexually. I'm just talking that too, but I'm talking about other things. Men who are in the orbit of a woman, you're only there because she could extract something from you, or else you wouldn't be there. And that's one of my other theories. And I think that's a natural thing. And I think that's a very natural thing. That's why women choose to if they're having a lot of sex, but they get pregnant, one of the things they do is they'll blame it on the guy who has the most money. The reason why women don't want no fault divorce to get away is because they safety and security is the most important thing to them. You know, so usefulness of a man, whether it's legitimate or not, is what they always seek, because the last thing a woman wants to do is be destitute on the street. And I can dig it. You know, they got to protect themselves at all times. That's why a lot of black women vote liberal Democrat, because they're told that they're going to be taken care of. Even though that's a lie, and that lie is coming true, some of them are still holding on for their life. So I'm going to play this other clip for you. All right. Share it. Yeah, let me share this one. I got one I want to share. There's a few parts to this one, but let's go ahead.
For sweetness, they are tools, mechanisms of survival, not conscious manipulation, but unconscious evolution. Schopenhauer said, "A woman's charm is the mask of nature, a mask worn only long enough to ensnare a man."
You know, listen, man, I know this was made long ago and that kind of thought, but it's, you know, it's true. It's really, really true. And I got a couple of other clips, more modern clips, and this one I'm not going to play anymore. We can probably get the link from this and go check it out. It's really a 22-minute tape, so I'm not going to put you all through it. I think we get the point that there's a natural inclination for women to use the men in their orbit, whether that's for sex, whether that's for information, whether that's for work, but whatever it's for, that's the deal, you know. And I think there's something that most men probably inherently understand, but can't put their finger on it. But it kind of answers some of the reasons why a woman would up and leave you, you know, just out of the clear blue. And if you really think about it and peel back the onion, it's because she no longer sees any use in being around you. Before I go on, it's like the Tia Mowry syndrome, right? Tia Mowry, you know, she left her husband. Everybody was trying to find some fault with him. The truth of the matter is she wanted some new Johnson. He was no longer useful to her as a husband for whatever reason that we still don't know, and we don't need to know. She walked out on it, and she walked out on her children. Oh, they were still in her life, but she didn't care about the structure for them. She wanted what she wanted, and she went after it. And the women of America gave her a victory lap, as opposed to nobody challenging her, saying, "What are you doing? How is this some kind of thing or message to tell women to just up and leave their husbands in a marriage and just break it?" Now, I was mad at him for coming back saying he cried for 2 years. I thought that was a mistake, you know. All right. Well, I know that. I know that. You there, PMU? What's going on? I didn't want to show both the things. I understand you trying to do this. All right. Anyway, all right, man. So let's continue. Anyway, so let me get rid of that and bring my man Trey up, man. What's going on, Trey? Hey, what's up, Terry? How you doing? All right. So what do you think, man? What
in this day and age, they have the option to replace us. And you look at even the average woman. I mean, she's got a roster full of guys, in her DMs or when she steps out. So,
Here we go.
I'm a single mom and been married.
So this is the first lady telling you about what she thinks about the usefulness of men.
Dated, and I have a gentleman who I've known.
She's a cutie pie.
Known for a while, who's pursued me for a while, and I just haven't been interested because I haven't not really wanting to date. And I told him, well, he called me and he's like, don't be upset, I just need to ask you something. I'm like, okay. So he's like, why aren't you interested in me? Like, my finances are good, I've been liking you for a while, and I've been pursuing you for a while. Why aren't you giving me a chance?
Okay, before she goes on, okay. Now, you guys out there who might be watching this, if he was aesthetically pleasing to her, would she be saying all this bullshit? If the guy was something that, if she was sexually attracted to this guy, she wouldn't be saying not one thing like this. All right, this is for the guys who are out there trying to make their way, and you got to pay your way. All right, one way or the other. So let her go tell you what you need to do to get a chance.
And I told him, I said, I don't know, I just haven't been wanting to start looking into that or dating or anything. But, like, I'm a single mom. Like, there's certain things that I like, to impress me. There's certain things that, like I want, you to try to do. Like, I'm not about going to have dinner or go watch a comedy show or nothing like that. I really just want someone to just come and be like, hey, let me mow your lawn. Let me clean out your backyard. Let me help out with the manly things, because I know you don't have a man in this house helping you out in that. Like, those are the things that I want, not that I might, but that might change my heart. That might change.
Okay, let me stop her right there, okay? So what she's saying is, listen, I need you to clean my backyard, my gutters. I want you to go fucking change my battery in my whatchamacallit. And maybe, just maybe, you might get a chance to sniff this woofy whoop. Ain't that some shit? It's so fucking funny, man. I want you to listen, man. I want you to do exactly what my husband, who I found no use for no more, to do, just so you could. Well, first of all, I cut his ass off too, so it wasn't enough. That's why I got rid of him. But I want you to go ahead and audition to be my useful tool, and just maybe you might get a chance to take my panties off. God damn it. And she said with straight face. So what you think about that? What you think about it?
I'm laughing at you. You getting a good chuckle out of this. I mean,
every time I see it, I laugh.
Yeah, this is the state of dating. But here's what I find funny, RP. If we say as men, well, I'm looking for someone to cook for me, I'm looking for someone to clean my home, I'm looking for someone to do my laundry. Is that not the equivalent? Is that not the same thing?
You want me to be a slave? Oh my God!
You're trying to oppress me and I'm not your mama. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not your daddy. I'm not supposed to be raking the leaves and cutting the grass, and you know, every time a screw gets loose in the house, you want me to come. That's not my job either. Call your daddy. And so this is what I'm saying. You're not going to use me. You're not going to use me. If I can't use you, you can't use me.
It's not. I mean, it's not too much longer, but I like the way she's just so easy, just saying this shit.
Change my mind, but you trying to ask me out on a date or take me out to eat, or I don't want to. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to spend any time doing that. I want a different kind of effort. I want you to offer these kind of things to me. You know, like I might just change my mind, change my perspective, and
that's enough, right? I might just give you and you know what? I think the worst kind of lay a man can get is a mercy lay.
It's called chore play.
Yeah,
that's what she's describing. She's describing chore play.
That's right.
She's saying.
Oh my!
That you might just hit the right spot if you trim the hedges. If you trim my hedges, it might just turn me on just enough.
No, it's just too much, man. And the first thing he asked is what her age, but let's go.
26 on the February 22nd. So I'm 25 right now.
Are you single?
I am single.
Why do you think that is?
Because I want to be. I have a couple of boyfriends. I hope they're not watching. Maybe like 4 or 5. So I guess I'm single. I am single.
Okay, so I think she hesitated to say it. She thinks she's got so many men in her orbit. To me, is that really being single? Oh yeah, I'm single.
Well, what's it like dating 5 people at the same time?
It's just like juggling. You have to be talented.
Are you sleeping with all 5 of them?
Not all of them. Depends on the situation.
Why not all? What's the deciding factor?
Well, there's different guys for different situations.
There you go, right there. Different guys for different situations. Exactly.
Some guys, I just want to go to. I forgot that I'm recording this.
Some guys, you just want to what?
There's different purposes for different tools.
One's a shovel, one's a knife, one's a fork.
Yeah, honestly, the one that I'm fucking, never gonna get in a relationship with him. He doesn't have the job, finances, none of that.
So why even open yourself up to a guy like that?
Great dick.
She said in 1 minute, in 1 fucking minute, she said everything you need to know. I thought that shit was gold. You know, so it's incredible. I mean, but it's not just her. It's not. You know, maybe just the way she handled it, but it's not just her. I'll come back to it. I just want to play it through so everybody can hear it without me stopping.
What's your age?
26 on the February 22nd. So I'm 25 right now.
Are you single?
I am single.
Why do you think that is?
Because I want to be. I have a couple of boyfriends. I hope they're not watching. Maybe like 4 or 5. So I guess I'm single. I am single.
But what's it like dating 5 people at the same time?
It's just like juggling. You have to be talented.
Are you sleeping with all 5 of them?
Not all of them. Depends on the situation.
Why not all? What's the deciding factor?
Well, there's different guys for different situations. Some guys, I just want to go to. I forgot that I'm recording this.
Some guys, you just want to what?
There's different purposes for different tools.
One's a shovel, one's a knife, one's a fork.
Yeah, honestly, the one that I'm fucking, never gonna get in a relationship with him. He doesn't have the job, finances, none of that.
So why even open yourself up to a guy like that?
Great dick.
Well, the reason why I play this again is because I'm trying to drive home again the fact that what these ladies said, the married woman, the divorced one, and this lady here are just innate nature, a natural instinct that women have. Women just naturally use men. And when it goes wrong is when they misuse the privilege, because men don't necessarily are not necessarily naive that they're being used. There's got to be a reciprocation from time to time. And I'm not just talking just about sex. So the whole point of this whole stream is to say that there's certain natures of women that women have that men overlook because they're wrapped up in social media and all this other horse shit. And they think that they're being driven just by their friends. Some of that is true. But when a woman gets out of her nature, just like a man getting out of her nature, it's destructive, right? And we're so used to seeing, I think a lot of times that we think the destruction in the society is because women are acting outside of their nature. I think it's a little worse when men have acted outside of our nature. That's why shit is all fucked up. So many men have acquiesced to women trying to change the game and the rule that men have started to act outside of our nature, and we let a lot of shit slip. We just let a lot of shit slip. Relationships slip. How our daughters are raised slip. How the boys are being raised slip. How the world, society is, we just slip because men have decided by listening to some horse shit that we should be more in tune with our this bullshit and more in tune with all that bullshit. And I said, what? We should just be men. And then even with that, when a man loses his way with his nature, we see what happens with that. Like the coach of Michigan, who recently didn't have his libido under control, and he lost everything based on it. I mean, he went from being a top flight coach, at least with the job, to a guy on suicide watch within a week. So I'm just saying, so I just think for men, and I got some other clips on this, I just wanted to show that I know we're in a modern era, but I think men will have less issues with this era if they spend more time understanding the basic nature of women, and if their interactions with women on that natural level was to take precedent, they would have less trouble, because you will be weeding out shit women like crazy, instead of wasting time with them, if you really knew what you had to do. And like I said, when I started this out, I said, I'm not telling people how to be boyfriend and girlfriends. I don't care. I said, but if you want to be married, there's a couple of things you have to know about the nature of the woman that you're with. And people will say, well, you've been married a long time. And I say this to everybody too. I've been married 38 years, and not one of those days have my wife turned in her woman card. When she said I do, she had a woman card in her back pocket, and she still has that shit right now. Somebody asked me, am I married? It's funny that you asked that question. Been married for 38 years, and my wife has been a woman for every single second of that time, and so you get to learn a little bit of stuff about how women operate, anyway. So I know a little bit about appreciation and reciprocation and this and that and all that kind of stuff, because hey, I've been married to my chick. The only receipt I have is that she's still with me. And I'm gonna play some. Oh man, why you challenging me about showing a picture of my wife? That's my wife right there. And this is me in my better days. I was, when I look at that picture, I start to tear up, because I should have been a Casanova, right? I should have been. And, yeah, you can look back at this thing, you can see the video. So I just had these chewed up earlier if you was here. And one of the points I made, and I'm going to make it again later on, is if you can get your woman to look at you like she's looking at me here, then you got something. Because even as where I look now, when my wife looks at me through those eyes, I can still see her. Yeah. I actually threw a home run, man. I hit a home run. Out of the park, by the way. I hit a Barry Bonds home Anyway, and so I want to get to the last part of this before I go, and it's a little bit more affirmation from other people talking about the situation about women and men. And of course, I had to find the Anton Daniel clip, and I'm gonna show that for a second. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna make sure I get it right at the right place. Let me get here. Okay. Now he's talking. They're going through some of the questions that we're talking about in this whole live, but we'll get to it. So we're going to start.
Be able to operate like a light switch. You're gonna have to be able to walk away from that shit whenever it is that you realize that it becomes detrimental to you, and you can't just keep suffering through it because you love somebody. You're gonna have to operate like a light switch.
What does that look like practically, operating like a light switch?
It means that everything is conditional.
I guess the reason that I ask that is because, you guys always say like a woman will leave her family for her happiness. And I just, how you said just now, like you don't stay in a situation just because you love somebody. So how are those?
I could still, feel some type of way for you, but that don't mean that I'm gonna stick around with you. It depends on how severe the situation is, right? If you want to be successful, you're going to have to understand that you're going to have to make some tough decisions that other people are unwilling to make. And women make them. Here's the real part. By default, women make those decisions every single day and don't give a fuck.
So you think it's easier for women to turn the light switch on and off?
They do it.
Mm-hmm.
They do it.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And any man who's been out there, who's been with women, if they turn that switch off, you ain't turning it back on. You're just not.
And they do it. And they do it. They do it with the expectation that they'll be able to land on their feet. And a lot of times they do.
I can't relate to that.
See, this is so funny, Carrie. I heard someone say this the other day. What did they say? They said women will take a general argument, which Anton is talking about, and make it personal. Or they will take something personal and make it general when to prove a point. You literally just did that.
We all do that all the time.
I know that's a
She went back to general. That's funny.
We do that all the time. We all.
I mean, it is. It's just the truth. It is. And when you really get to a certain space mentally, and when you really start unlocking certain keys and certain doors, you'll also understand why a lot of other guys are losing and why women will always choose up. It's in their nature. They can't help it. Even if they don't want to, even if they are, I was talking to I was explaining something to a girl today, and at first she couldn't fathom it. And she was asking me, oh, I know what she was asking me. She probably watching this right now too. She was asking me, she said, Anton, I was talking to my homegirls and they were saying that a guy always has to like you more. A guy always has to like you more. I said, no, it's the complete opposite. And she said, why is that? I said, because you have to be him to her and she has to like you more, because guys will still operate with you out of adoration, love you, find things that's unique about you, more loyal in a general sense. But a woman by nature, even if it's just mentally, once she spot him, whoever it is that shows up in her life as a form of masculinity that they truly adore, they can't unsee him and they'll always always use him as the benchmark to compare against the situations that they in, and even be willing to throw away what it is that they have, because that's just in their nature. It's almost like a survival instinct. And when they see him, they're by default, they choose up. They have to literally choose back down or bring themselves back down to reality. Like they have to train themselves to do the opposite in order to stay loyal to the situation that they in.
Hey, listen, there's so much truth to that. And some people will tell a woman that if you wouldn't want to be the guy, let me put it to you this way. What Anton just said is that you don't really want to be a guy that a woman has to give away what she feels part of herself just to be with you. I know I don't want that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because what kind of sacrifice to her in her mind, Miss Feelings, like most women, is making to be with you if she feels that she has to give up so much to be with you. Right? That's why their hypergamy wants them to level up. And even though they do that under the wrong circumstances a lot of the time, because, you know, they still want that guy to be traditional, but they still don't want to be traditional, even with the guy that they have, even with the guy that might be up there. Tracy Ellis Ross still wants to be a free agent to do whatever the hell she wants, even if she found a guy who would settle down with her old ass. You know what I'm saying? You know, so like I said, women say men marry down. I mean, they don't want to marry down. But I said, men, you know, we don't even put that derogatory term on the women, because we marry down all the time in terms of something, economics or this or that, you know, and we don't even give it a case because a woman fulfills something different for us. But for women, the most important thing is that that guy has more than she does, or else she doesn't feel as secure as she needs to.
They always choose up, always. They can't help it. It's in them.
I'm always fascinated with where you get your data from regarding these types of
data.
Yeah.
You can't listen to Carrie over this next 2 minutes. She's a trip, but let's give it to her. Let's hear her.
Some things are just lived experiences.
Well, you can't
Some
have
things
lived
are-
this.
Some
as
things are
one
observations. Some things are the coaching sessions that you have. Some things are looking at life and realizing what it is. Sometimes it's the interactions that you have every single day.
Okay.
Now, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm off, and then tell me why.
Like, I hate to say it,
I
but
can't tell
women
you.
live life on easy mode. I think that's a thing.
Tell me why I'm off.
I can't tell you you're off because I have facts to show the opposite. I'm saying I don't understand how you can state what you stated as fact, because how would you know that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you be able to say that about women in general? I'm just curious. I'm curious of how you would be able to show that.
Carrie, with all of the conversations that we've had offline, are you really asking me that?
Let's just stop it right there. Okay. All right. I mean, she just knows. She knows that what's going on, what's happening. She just knows that he's right. You know, and so I think women, when they come face to face with truisms, they automatically go negative. I just think that women have a natural nature of certain things. And I think that if men learn that shit, they'd have a whole lot easier time with the women, even of today. Because if you have that in your back pocket, that knowledge, you'll just eliminate the ones that, you know, you don't have to go through the bullshit. You'll just eliminate a lot of women that you talk to if you want more than just to smash. Right? If you want more than just to smash, I would imagine, I would submit to you that if you understood the nature of some women and how they talk and behave, that even if they look good, you might not even want to smash them. You might not even want to smash them. I don't need to be not married to understand that. I mean, and looking at the track record of some of the black men lately, not just black men, but the ones in the media, they don't need to be smashing anybody. They fumbling the bag all over the place because their nature they're out of control with their own nature. And a lot of people, one, have to recognize we have a natural order of things. We have a nature that we should follow. And some people are not even aware of it. And that's a mistake. We should be aware of our nature, both men and women. Some people call women masculine. I hate to call them that because they're acting outside of their nature. And it's been destructive. It has been destructive for them. It's been destructive for neighborhoods. It's been destructive for, family life. It's been destructive. But not just them acting negative or acting masculine. It's because men have acquiesced to the bullshit that they spew. And that part has men acting outside of their nature. So when men act outside of their nature and women are acting outside of their nature, it's a recipe for disaster. And there's no coming back from that. Because both secularly and non-secularly, we're out of balance. So, I mean, what do I know? This is just another live in my, I'm not really bashing anybody. I'm just saying that women have a nature, men have a nature, and I think we need to get back to some of that. And if you want to get married as a man, because of a woman's nature, you got to make sure that she goddamn loves you more than you can ever imagine. Because in order for her to stick it out, there's got to be something that's lasting. And if you got to drag her kicking and screaming, you got to pull her and shit into the fold and, I want to marry you because I want to do all of this shit. If you got to do that with a woman to marry you, you're making a huge mistake. Other than if you like, oh my God, you're all over me, baby. I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry about it. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here today. I'm going to be here for the rest of your life because she's on top of you, because she's coming towards you voluntarily, and when she doesn't necessarily need to. She's making a choice that you're the guy she wants. And she's doing it enough by action, deed, words, and everything else for you to feel confident enough that this woman wants to be with you. That above her selfish nature, she knows she can get what she needs to get out of you because you already proved that to her. So, okay, so she finds you useful, and that's fine because you don't mind being useful to her and for her. Anyway, hey, Trey, thanks for stopping by. Lit. Hey, Bridge, what's that? Bridget Hines. Okay, there you go. Thanks for stopping by for a second. I know you got into a little spat with my man Taylor, which that's called an initiation, by the way. BMU, thanks for the channel. I have one more thing for everybody, and I know I might be the only person who likes my songs, but I play them anyway. It's my show for the next 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. And so you're going to have to bear with me. And because I'm out of here, I'm going to go kiss the wife after I do all of this stuff too. So I got one more for you. And it goes to my theme that she's got to love you as much. When I say more, as much, because I think when a man asks a woman to marry him, I think he's showing that he's willing to put all his cards in. A woman just saying I do doesn't necessarily give that connotation that she's putting all her cards in. You're going to have to be assured that I do has a lot going with it. But when you marry a woman, man, everything, including the state, says you're responsible. You know what I'm saying? So you're really willing to do everything you can. And you know what? The pressure of keeping a family together, even if you have fun and all that, it's there, especially through the years, ups, downs, sideways, children, mortgages, all that kind of stuff. Even if your wife's chipping in, you're always going to be the top dog, right? Anyway, so enough rambling. I hope I got through to some people that there's a nature to woman. Go back through this thing and go through some of the clips again and understand, learn it. Learn other natures of women. They all have a nature. We all do. And it's not based just on social media, right? Because social media is like the mainstream media. If it bleeds, it leads for social media. If it's yummy, it makes money. So they talk a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look past some of that. Anyway, what's my last thing I'm going to show you? The young lady said, hey, do you have a picture of my wife? Yeah, I had a picture of my wife. So I want to do one more thing, and we're going to be out of here on this last one. Let me share not just a picture. I'm going to share more than that. All right. There you go. And this goes to, again, the kind of way my fiance, before we got married, this is the kind of way she made me feel before we actually walked down the aisle.
You're the shadow dancing in my dreams. Every night I reach for the starlight beams, but time ticks slow. It's a heavy fight. I just wanna be where you are tonight. In the whispers of the night, I feel you glow. Your love's the fire I need the most. I wanna be where you are tonight, wrapped in your arms. Everything feels right. Take me away, your loving time. Just say the words, I'll be by your side. Underneath the moon, I roam this empty street. Every corner I turn, it's your heartbeat. Lost in the echo of your sweet delight, I'm calling out for you. Where are you tonight? Stars collide, the world slows down. I'll chase your light until we're found. I wanna be where you are tonight, wrapped in your arms. Everything feels right. Take me away, your loving time. Just say the
Hey, well, that's it. You know, so listen, thanks for stopping by tonight. Nice Monday. Gonna watch some football. You know, it's coming down to an end for some of your teams and stuff like that. But it's all good. I hope some of it got through to some of y'all. If not, watch the replay. You know, put a couple of dimes, nickels in BMU's coffer, one way or the other. And I'm here every Monday. If you want to hear some of my music, it's on Theme-Based Music on my channel, one of my channels, Themed with a D, Based Music. That's the channel I have. Got a bunch of things on there, some good, some better. It's all AI generated. I do manipulate some of the words to some of those songs. Some are all instrumental. I have a good time with that. So they got better tools. I could invest in a better tool if I need to, but right now, you know, I'm just having a good time, man, putting some time in. Anyway, with that, thanks for stopping by. Happy Monday, everybody. Till next Monday at 7 o'clock, I'll have another topic. And hey, I'm doing good. I haven't really got political again. You know, there's time for that. There may be something that pops off that I might want to do, but this was pretty cool. It's more lighthearted. Anyway, have a good night, y'all. Arpain, your favorite baby boomer, over and out.